Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you love this watch, you could see it and you can purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. The Generation 3 Vacheron Constantin Overseas Automatic launched in 2016. For 2018, VC changed a few things, recomposing the dial with a lovely black gloss option that you see right here. So the watch 2016, the dial 2018, and the appearance timeless. Easy to wear on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, the Generation 3 Overseas is a formidable piece, both technically and aesthetically beautifully finished and finally on par, perhaps even head and shoulders above the competing Nautilus and Royal Oak families. So the watch is 41 millimeters in diameter and in terms of thickness 11.2 millimeters thick, so fairly slender with a sloped bezel. Again, my wrist 16 centimeters in circumference to give scale. The watch is incredibly broad when you include the rigidity of the bracelet, which flares out a little bit from the case. That measurement longitudinally across the wrist is a somewhat intimidating 56.6 millimeters, but it doesn't quite wear that broad because you can see there is some curvature built into the bracelet as it arcs down around the wrist. So I would say on the bracelet, you probably consider the lower wrist size limit for this watch 14.5 centimeters circumference. But the watch also comes with a steel deploying clasp with which to equip the leather strap in black and the rubber strap in black that also come with this watch as standard equipment. On the straps, you can wear the watch on a 14 centimeter circumference wrist. Let's take a look at the bracelet though, because it's so nice. I recommend you stick with the bracelet unless it's just an ergonomic impossibility for you. First, you can see that it's nicely finished. You can see inboard, the creases internal to the bracelet have been polished, and you can really only see that polish as you roll the links through the light. It's incredible attention to detail. There's a little bit of a bevel that runs perfectly down the shoulder, giving way to polished flanks. You'll also note that every single individual link of the bracelet is removable, and that's true on both sides of the bracelet, so you're really going to get a precise size here. Also note the Maltese cross motif and the satin finish that run down the top. The Maltese cross recurs several times on this watch. One more time on the exterior of the clasp, which is a double fold with twin trigger release, and there's a wonderful little quick extension system built in. So without actually removing any links, you have a incremental adjustment that pushes in or pulls out, and you have that adjustment on both sides of the clasp, allowing you to make fine adjustments. So if your wrist does expand or contract a little bit, you don't have to worry about pulling out a screwdriver to resize your bracelet. And that has been true on every Generation 3 Overseas. So you want to double check your bracelet for a feature you might not have known you have. Jump into the case, you can see that the bevel from the flank of the bracelet continues into the case band, where it flares a little bit at the junction of the mid case and the lug hood. The lug hood is all of satin finish, and you can see that the case band is all of high polish. You'll also note that there is a plinth or a little circular ring underneath the Maltese cross style bezel. That's a new feature for the Generation 3, designed to make the watch a bit more imposing and apparently larger on the wrist. Its outer face is of polish. You can see that it's satin finished on its top, and then there's polish on the outcroppings of the bezel, and then the portions between the recesses have a vertical satin finish. Incredible attention to detail with this watch. They just didn't stop. That said, they also didn't overwork the thing. There is no sense that it's overwrought in any respect. There's a flange that slopes down to unify the bezel and the dial, and then you have a dial with a little bit of a muted matte black outboard under the applique white gold indices, white gold Vacheron Maltese cross, you have white gold hands at center, and then a black lacquer dial that is rich, glossy, appearing almost luminous and wet. It's a wonderful upgrade to the basic look of the watch and a nice counterpart to the gloss blue option. There's a aperture for the date, and the date features a quick set function. The watch does not feature hacking seconds, and that's really the only feature that it does not include. If you want to swap to those accessory straps that I mentioned a moment ago, you can do so easily because there's a quick release system for all of the straps and bracelets included with the watch. And underneath the caseback, you see for the first time in an Overseas watch a manufacturer automatic movement. Vacheron 37 jewel 60-hour automatic winding caliber 5100, adjusted in 5 positions like a chronometer. It features a gorgeous engraved 22-karat rose gold winding mass with a compass rose pattern. You'll also note that the balance, beaten away at 28,800 vibrations per hour, features a cap that is black polished, and indeed all of the screw heads are black polished as well, with their slots chamfered. There is a mirrored anglage, narrow and graceful, optically smooth, and that chamfer is visible on the edge of every bridge. Let me see if I can get a little bit closer and improve the focus just a bit. The detail here will reward the use of a loop, so you definitely want to pull out your loop and enjoy everything from the engine-turned perlage on the base plate to the immaculately arrayed Côte de Genève, the waves that sweep perfectly aligned from bridge to bridge. You can see that even the jewel and the screw countersinks feature the same mirrored polishing as the chamfer on the edge of the bridges. Now, what should you know? Well, you should also know that the watch is a unidirectional winder with ceramic rotor bearings, so very efficient, and those rotor bearings are sealed for life. 150 meters water resistant. The display caseback is another first in the Vacheron Overseas family, but you get the same 25,000 ampere per meter anti-magnetism as the solid caseback predecessor model, because the paramagnetic ring channels field lines around the movement. You can see this Overseas Generation 3 and make it yours on the watch box. Vacheron Overseas Generation 3.